through the eyes, but color grabs our attention first. It conveys a message and mood and can be the key to success. At the Pantone Color Institute, we've been speaking the language of color since 1986, helping brands succeed. From color trends to cultural meaning, we bring our color insights to help you develop a color and design strategy consistent with your brand vision. Every color and color combination expresses something different, instantly causing a psychological reaction and physiological response. We help you create brand color stories that will connect to consumers at their deepest level. Want to know where color direction is moving? We also see the future, in color that is. In a landscape that is constantly evolving, our Pantone View trend books highlight emerging color themes 6 to 24 months in advance of the season. Looking for individualized color direction that will resonate up to 4 years in advance? We will curate your palette and create stories that will set you apart. We can also define your brand's signature shade. Did you know color increases brand recognition by 87%? We will help you build a stronger visual identity by tailoring a timeless and iconic hue to your brand or product. The key to a brand's color becoming iconic, however, is consistency. Is your color being reproduced accurately no matter the product, material, or medium? We will define and standardize your color so its message and meaning will never be lost in translation. There are a lot of ways your brand can make its mark. Let Pantone Color Institute show you why we know color comes first.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Laurie Pressman, Vice President of the Pantone Color Institute, and it is my pleasure to share with you some of the thinking behind the selection of our Pantone Color of the Year 2024, Pantone 131023 Peach Fuzz. To give you a little bit of history, the Pantone Color Institute originally created the Pantone Color of the Year educational program in 1999 to engage the design community and color enthusiasts around the world in a conversation around color. We wanted to draw attention to the relationship between culture and color to highlight to our audience how what is taking place in our global culture is expressed and reflected through the language of color. The introduction of our Pantone Color of the Year 2024 marks the 25th anniversary of the Pantone Color of the Year program. Through the years, the Pantone Color of the Year program has become a globally iconic cultural touchstone, drawing attention to how what is taking place in our global culture is once again reflected and expressed through the language of color. For our team involved in the selection of our Pantone Color of the Year, I use this slide every time because it's just so perfect. It really shows that this is not an arbitrary decision where we just divine the color, as we see here, by somebody gazing at a crystal ball, hoping that inspiration hits. It's actually quite the contrary. The Pantone Color of the Year selection process entails thoughtful consideration and trend analysis. It's a culmination of the macro level color trend forecasting and research that the global team involved with the Pantone Color Institute conducts year-round that informs the selection, as well as all the colors that get included into our color trend forecasting products. To arrive at the selection each year, this global team of color experts at the Pantone Color Institute comb the world looking for new color influences. This can include the entertainment industry and films and production, traveling art collections and new artists, fashion, all areas of design, aspirational travel destinations, as well as new lifestyles, play styles, or enjoyable escapes, as well as socioeconomic conditions. Influences may also stem from new technologies, materials, textures, and effects that impact color, relevant social media platforms, and even upcoming sporting events that capture worldwide attention. And of course, through this time, we keep our eyes and ears open to the hopes and aspirations that many people share with us that also helps us to provide the symbolic color that best represents those feelings. The emotional aspect of color is a large part of our decision making, as we want to ensure that the color or colors we select reflects what's taking place in our global culture at this specific moment in time. With color and context so intertwined, there really are reasons why a color family or individual color comes into prominence when it does. And for the most part, the popularity of a color is symbolic of the age we live in. So while each year is unique and we look at each year separately, we also do look back to where we have been since we began this program in 1999, and especially to our selection for the year before. We also consider the color name as this too conveys a message, and we need to make sure the name of the color we have chosen is directly in line with the message we are looking to send. Our approach to the color selection process for 2024 was no different than when we began this program in 1999. However, what is different is the highly unusual time we continue to find ourselves living in. And as we enter 2024, how we live and the concept of lifestyle has taken on new meaning. This is something we've been talking about through the past year, and especially comes to the forefront in our Pantone View Home and Interiors 2024 color trend forecast. And what we've been seeing is at this time of turmoil in many aspects of our lives, our need for nurturing, for empathy and compassion has grown ever stronger, as has our imaginings of a more peaceful future. We've been reminded that a vital part of living a full life is having the good health, the stamina, and the strength to enjoy it. That in a world which often emphasizes productivity and external achievements, it is critical we recognize the importance of fostering our inner selves and find moments of respite, creativity, and human connection amid the hustle and bustle of modern life. As we navigate the present and build towards this new world, we've been reevaluating what's important. Reframing how we want to live, we've been expressing ourselves with greater intentionality and consideration. We've been recalibrating our priorities to align better with our internal values. We're focusing on health and well-being, both mental and physical, and cherishing what's special, the warmth and comfort of spending time with friends and family, or simply taking a moment of time to ourselves. With that in mind, we wanted to turn to a color that could focus on the importance of community and the coming together with others. The color needed to express our desire to want to be close to those we love, and the joy we get when allowing ourselves to tune into who we are and just savor a moment of quiet time. It needed to be a color whose warm and welcoming embrace conveyed a message of compassion and empathy, one that was nurturing and whose cozy sensibility brought people together and elicited a feeling of tactility, one that reflected our feeling for days that seemed simpler but at the same time has been refashioned to display a more contemporary ambiance, one whose gentle lightness and airy presence lifts us into the future. The color we have selected to be our Pantone Color of the Year 2024 embodies this movement towards a different future. And here we go, Pantone Color of the Year 2024, Peach Fuzz. A velvety, gentle peach tone whose all-embracing spirit enriches mind, body, and soul. Subtly sensual, Peach Fuzz is a heartfelt peach hue, bringing a feeling of kindness and tenderness, communicating a message of caring and sharing, community and collaboration, a message that really comes through in our hero image, which you see here, where two people are coming together, blowing on this wishing flower. Heartfelt, a very important key word for this color. This is a warm and cozy shade that highlights a desire for togetherness with others, or as you can see here in this slide, enjoying a moment of stillness and the feeling of sanctuary this creates. This is a color that presents a fresh approach to a new softness. And look at the blanket, you can see the coziness and you just want to lay down in that bed and take that moment of sanctuary. And you see how this person on the left is almost hugging themselves as they wrap this peach fudge jacket around them. An appealing peach hue softly nestled between pink and orange. And here you can see the tactility in this visual from the Met Gala. And unlike the previous slide where it was more informal, here you see a much more dressed up application of the color. It's a color that brings belonging, inspires calibration, and an opportunity for nurturing, conjuring up an air of calm, offering us a space to be, to feel, to heal, and to flourish from. Drawing comfort from Peach Fuzz, we can find peace from within, impacting our well-being, an idea as much as a feeling. Peach Fuzz awakens our senses to the comforting presence of tactility and cocooned warmth. Again, cocooned warmth, another key word for this color, but you look at the slippers and you just want to dip your feet into these soft and fuzzy shoes. And then on the left, again, the loungewear, you can see how the fabric just drapes. At the same time, this is a color that really speaks to a new modernity. It's sensitive, but it's sweet and airy. And while it is centered in that human and tactile experience of enriching and nurturing the mind, body, and soul, it's also on the flip side a quietly sophisticated and contemporary peach hue with depth, whose gentle lightness is understated but impactful, bringing beauty to the digital world. And you can really see the light feeling in this visual and how it expresses this whole idea of soft futurism, another trend that we think is going to continue to be important as we move into 2024 and even into 2025. Poetic and romantic, a clean peach tone with a vintage vibe. Peach Fuzz reflects the past, yet has been refashioned with this contemporary ambiance. And this is especially the case when you look at the visual in the middle where we see these marabou feathers, soft to the touch, but it really brings back this whole vintage feeling of the feathery, almost going back to the 1920s, you know, this whole like boa wraps. But again, there's a light feeling and airy feeling here. Slouchy feeling, very relaxed, even though this is suiting. It's soft, it's slouchy, just looks really, really comfortable to step into. Visually arresting and inviting. A nurturing peach tone that inspires us to instinctively want to reach out and touch it. Conveying a message of tactility that comes through in suede and velvety and quilted and furry textures that are luxurious, soothing, and soft to the touch. Peach Fuzz is an enveloping peach hue that awakens our senses again to this comforting presence of tactility and cocooned warmth. And here we see a coat that we just want to wrap ourselves in it. It's not only the color here, it's also the textures, as you can see through these visuals I've been showing you, that supports this feeling, but it's the soft shapes. Look at the rounded silhouette of this skirt. Here we move in a different direction. We're right back to that light and airy feeling of the color, but again, we see the soft shapes. Look at the photo on the right, look at the pants. They're padded, the rounded shapes. You can also see how Peach Fuzz pairs nicely with some of the other softer tones, but look at how it could work against that vibrant, bright, and bold yellow. So again, probably a more versatile shade than one might imagine. The scarf in this peach tone contrasts beautifully against this deep indigo, and you can also see how it brightens up the skin tone. Soft and cozy socks, of course, a natural for this color, men and women, made from bamboo. Here too in the bag, once again, we see the padded materials being used. Look at this bucket hat, certainly vintage inspired, faux fur, very strong contrast against the black, but look again too, the use on her face and how this just lights up her face. The soft puffer, fuzzy mittens, another cold winter statement in this soft peach tone. Our partner Karayuma created sneakers inspired by Peach Fuzz, as did LeBron James and Nike. Notice the color contrast here with this deeper orange. Less expected shade in sweats, but works really well, male or female. What's interesting to note here is that if you go years back, this is a color that men may not have worn today, not even an issue. Again, here too, popping and helping to make somebody's skin tone look a little bit lighter and brighter. A contemporary peach with depth whose gentle lightness is understated. Peach Fuzz adds an ethereal reflective finish to hair, especially in this ombre look. The contrast against the dark color of her eyebrows in the dress makes for a really dramatic and impactful statement. Here we see Peach Fuzz being shown in lipstick and in lip gloss from our partner Shades by Shan, and you can see how this color creates a natural rosy glow that flatters complexions across a large variety of undertones. It enlivens the skin, adding soft warmth, making all who wear it appear more healthy. It's fresh and youthful when paired with earthy browns, and yet at the same time, you can also see how this shade creates a much more dramatic contrast, as we saw earlier, with the dark shades with the hair, but also look here at the deep terracotta that's being used here on eyes and cheek. And it is because of the versatility that Peach Fuzz has that it opens the door to a wide assortment of lipstick, blush, skin tone, and contouring options. Expressing a message of tenderness, nail designs incorporating Peach Fuzz are romantic, they're innocent, they're sweet. Introducing soft and cozy Peach Fuzz into home interiors creates a welcoming ambiance, whether as we see here in a setting that is more traditional or contemporary, or even eclectic. And you look at the mixing of styling here, you see Peach Fuzz, it's this welcoming feeling. You see that very contemporary chandelier hanging from the ceiling. At the same time, you see this really traditional grandfather clock. And this is this whole idea of mixing and matching, which we've been seeing, the idea of rearranging things to make it look a little bit different, make it look a little bit new, things that you may have emotional attachment to stay with you, introducing new objects. And Peach Fuzz, again, brings this all together with its whole warm and welcoming feeling. A heartfelt peach hue whose all-embracing spirit enriches mind, body, and soul. Peach Fuzz conjures up an air of calm. Here again, offering us the space to be, to feel, to heal, and to flourish from. And it just looks like a place you could really look to in your bedroom. And it would give you this feeling of sanctuary. And once again, we see this against the gray. This seems to be a very popular combination when we get into these very soft shades. Promoting feelings of gentle warmth, whether appearing on a painted wall in an entryway or hallway or throughout the entire room, in home decor, or acting as an accent within a pattern. Peach Fuzz infuses our most personalized worlds with a comforting presence, and who would not want to get out of bed and just dip your feet into that soft peach rug? Here too, once again, we see the Peach Fuzz against the gray. It really pops. It just really, really pops, and it brings a whole light and bright feeling to the space. And while we've been showing you solid rugs, of course, you could always use Peach Fuzz in a pattern rug, as we see here in this Peach Fuzz inspired area rug from our partner Ruggable. Love the use of Peach Fuzz in this image with Kelly Wersler, taken earlier this year at the Prada Gallery. Not only is it a very abstract use of the color, again, painted against the mirror, very interesting to look at, but also, once again, look at the color combination. You see the peach against the gray furnishings, but look at the vibrant blue. Great combination. Wall coverings, another place where Peach Fuzz can make a statement, as we see here from this Peach Fuzz inspired color combo from our partner Spoonflower. I believe this is a palette we call Peach Plethora, which I'll be showing you at the end of our presentation. And you gotta love this peach pillow, again, going back to this whole idea of tactility and softness. With its message of caring and sharing, kindness, compassion, nurturing, and empathy, a great color for bridal, as certainly these are qualities we would be looking for as we enter into a committed relationship, such as marriage. Not to mention the aesthetically appealing and inviting appearance of this color on the table settings. Then, of course, there is a sweet and romantic nature of this color, so wonderful for candles, as well as dinnerware. Once again, this whole idea of vintage comes through in this assortment of lead crystal drinkware. Not a surprise, we would see this color in KitchenAid's lineup with this association with nurturing and nourishment. Great color for the kitchen, really pops against the white. We also see this as a great color for the floral industry, and while we see it here in a solid statement, it certainly lends itself to some really interesting color combinations. With its ability to flatter so many different skin tones, an ideal color for the bathroom, whether used in a more monochromatic statement as we see here, or in contrast against some other shades. Interesting color for a mountain bike. A little less surprising in this e-scooter, where once again, we see this whole idea of this retro feeling coming through. Caring and sharing, community and collaboration, key messages of this color. It makes sense we would apply this to a mobile phone, which our official technology partner, Motorola, has done, as you can see. This speaker designed to look like an old record player, another example of the vintage appeal of this color. With its ties to sweetness, Peach Fuzz also has a multi-sensory appeal, so an especially good color for something sweet tasting like these macaroons. Seemingly tactile, Peach Fuzz warmly welcomes, inviting consumers to reach out and touch, making it an enticing shade for a variety of products on shelf, from food and beverage to cosmetics and accessories. Here we see a package of hair color that uses this shade to engage consumer attention. Inspiring thoughts of delicate and sweet tastes and scents, Peach Fuzz triggers our senses as we know whether it is something we choose to eat or drink or apply as a perfume scent, it will be sweet. Moving on to the 5 palettes we've created to show you different ways in which you can bring Pantone Color of the Year 2024 into your designs. Our first palette is called Pairings. Pairings is a friendly mix of tonal color pairings, including 2 variations from the pink, orange, blue, green, and blue family that happily and harmoniously couple with each other. Next is Peach Plethora, a monochromatic collection of color that embraces the whitest of peach tones and barely beige to a peachy pink and a luscious Georgia peach, which together creates a warm and welcoming ambiance. Comprised of a medley of tempting treats, Libation speaks of sophisticated and urbane tastes. And as you can see, the names of each of these colors also help to tell the stories, from the brandied apricot to the marsala, the grapeade, certainly an eclectic mix of colors, but all really speaking to this whole idea of things that tempt, flavors that tempt. In hybrid hues, we see a palette of hues exhibiting a dichotomy of varied tones, yet at the one hand seemingly discordant, but really harmonious. Some really interesting color combinations, and if you take a look, you can see it's not just about the palettes themselves, but how can you use these colors in pairs or in just a harmony, a 3 or 4 color harmony, and still get that same feeling. In Flavorful, our last palette, we see a group of tasteful and flavorful shades whose distinct and striking appearance lends itself to complex and engaging color combinations. In closing today, I would say while our selection of Pantone 13-1023 Peach Fuzz to be our Pantone Color of the Year for 2024 may or may not have surprised you, we do feel this compassionate and nurturing soft peach tone reflects this unique cultural moment. The color we select to be our Pantone Color of the Year is a color we see crossing all areas of design, a color that serves as an expression of a mood and an attitude on the part of the consumers, a color that will resonate around the world, a color that reflects what people are looking for, what they feel they need, that color can hope to answer. We are living in a time of turmoil in many aspects of our lives, and as a result, we covet this idea of being wrapped in the comfort of soothing softness and wish for a future that is more peaceful. The selection of Peach Fuzz, this velvety, gentle peach tone with its message of heartfelt kindness, highlights our change of perspective. It's a color that expresses our desire for caring and sharing, and our desire to be close to those we love, and the joy we get when allowing ourselves to tune into who we are and just savor this moment of quiet time and the feeling of sanctuary this creates. A color whose warm and welcoming embrace conveys a message of compassion and empathy and kindness. One that is nurturing and whose cozy sensibility brings people together, and whose gentle lightness and airy presence lifts us into the future. Additionally, in the spirit of Peach Fuzz, as we reflect back on these last 25 years of the Pantone Color of the Year program, we are so grateful to have provided an avenue where designers and color enthusiasts all over the world can engage in a conversation about color and be inspired by color to tell their own stories and showcase their creativity within their communities. We look forward to continuing this for many more years to come. Thank you so much, and wishing you a colorful rest of your day. Bye-bye.